If you're over the age of 60 and waking up with less motivation, reduced sensitivity, and barely any interest in intimacy, it's not simply aging. It may be something much more serious. Tiny clogged blood vessels in your penis could be quietly restricting circulation and gradually shutting down your manhood. Here's the reality: medications can't reverse the damage caused by blocked veins, but nature can, if you know where to look. I'm Dr. James, a men's health expert with over 3 decades of experience. I've helped thousands of men turn around the silent decline that so few are willing to talk about and reclaim the most personal part of who they are. What if the real answer isn't in your medicine cabinet, but in 4 time-honored herbs that naturally enhance blood flow and restore sensitivity from within? These herbs do more than boost circulation, they reignite passion, vitality, and self-assurance. Let's take a closer look at each one and discover how older men are discreetly transforming their lives the natural way. Now let's uncover the 4 herbs your body may have been yearning for, remedies that can bring back the blood flow sensation and confidence you thought were lost forever. First, let's talk about ginseng, the ignition switch for desire and circulation. After 30 years of speaking with men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, I've noticed something. Behind every quiet moment of frustration, every silent struggle in the bedroom, and every late-night search for answers, there's one deeper question: am I still a man? You are. But when circulation weakens, when touch becomes dull, and when desire fades into the background, it's easy to forget. That's where ginseng comes in, not as some magical fix, but as a deeply trusted natural aid. Called the man root in Eastern medicine, Panax ginseng has been used for over 2 millennia to rekindle male strength and vitality, especially in the areas that matter most: circulation, passion, and stamina. Let's be clear, this isn't just an energy booster. It's a catalyst for better blood flow. In older men, ginseng works by relaxing and widening blood vessels, especially the fragile, narrow ones that serve the pelvic region. These vessels tend to constrict, with age-reducing oxygen dulling sensation and weakening response. Many men don't realize this. They often blame aging, stress, or even their partner. But in truth, their arteries are simply failing to deliver like they once did. Ginseng is packed with natural compounds called ginsenosides, which trigger nitric oxide production, a critical compound that helps your blood vessels open up and increase flow. Put simply, ginseng clears the traffic jam in your veins, reviving healthy circulation, not just to your brain and heart, but to the most personal part of your body, the part that defines closeness, manhood, and confidence. I recall a gentleman named Walter, age 68, recently retired and married for more than 4 decades. He approached me discreetly, visibly uncomfortable. He said, "Doc, I feel like I can't connect with my wife anymore. It's as if I'm present, but something inside me is missing." I recommended he begin taking a high-quality Korean red ginseng extract, 600 milligrams every morning. 3 weeks later, he looked me directly in the eye and said, "It feels like I've awakened. My thoughts, my body, my relationship, it all feels lighter now." The change wasn't magical. It was improved circulation. That's the impact ginseng can have on older men. It doesn't just improve performance. It restores clarity, emotional presence, warmth, and the sense of being whole again. But it's important to know that not all ginseng is the same. You need a clinically proven, properly standardized version, not something cheap you pick up at a convenience store or hidden inside a basic multivitamin. Choose Korean red Panax ginseng, ideally, with a standardization of at least 5% ginsenosides. When taken regularly, it promotes heart health, combats fatigue, and most importantly, revives blood flow to the pelvic region, which is essential for intimacy. So if you've been feeling withdrawn, emotionally flat, or physically disconnected, ginseng might be your first step. the ignition switch your body needs to restore blood flow, confidence, and desire. And yet Dom Ginseng is just the starting point. While it revs up the engine, the next herb I'll introduce keeps that energy moving exactly where you need it most. It even targets the same enzyme as those famous little blue pills, but does so naturally. Curious to know what it is? If you're still reading and this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're still with me and that you believe your best years aren't behind you. Second horny goat. It's not just a funny name, it's a powerful tool for blood flow. Most men chuckle when they first hear the name horny goat. It sounds like a gimmick or something you'd expect to see on a sketchy website, not in legitimate medical discussions. But let me be completely honest. As a physician who has spent more than 30 years helping older men reclaim their vitality and confidence, this herb has quietly become one of my top recommendations for enhancing circulation and intimate health. Its botanical name is epimedium, and the active compound that makes it so effective is called icariin. This isn't some myth or old wives' tale, it's backed by science. Icariin works by naturally inhibiting the PDE5 enzyme, the same enzyme that prescription medications like Viagra are designed to block. But instead of forcing your body into temporary action, along with side effects, horny goatweed supports your body's natural rhythm, gradually restoring sensitivity and circulation. For men over 60, that's incredibly important. As we age, our blood vessels, especially the smallest ones in the penis, start to narrow, stiffen, and lose flexibility. That means even when you feel mentally ready, your body might not cooperate. The connection between your brain and your body weakens. And when that happens, intimacy can start to feel more like a burden than a bond. I remember a patient named Glenn, 72 years old, a proud man who had spent 45 years in the construction trade. He said to me, "Doc, this isn't about performance, it's about closeness. I just want to feel that bond with my wife again. I want to feel like myself." I put him on a high-quality horny goatweed extract, standardized to a minimum of 10% icariin, and advised him to stay consistent for a month. When he returned for a follow-up, he said with quiet confidence, "It didn't happen overnight, but it was real, like someone flipped the switch back on." That's what this herb is known for. It doesn't generate fake heat or forced excitement. Instead, it helps restore your natural circulation, especially in the places aging men have stopped noticing they miss. The initial results are often subtle. You might experience better firmness in the morning, a warmer sense of responsiveness, or a deeper emotional reconnection. But as time passes, the transformation becomes undeniable. Horny goatweed has an additional benefit as well. It softly increases testosterone levels while decreasing cortisol, the stress hormone that gradually erodes desire. For men weighed down by fears about retirement, declining health, or emotional disconnection, this hormonal support is more than helpful, it's vital. If you're thinking of trying it, here's what matters most. Take it daily in the proper dosage, somewhere between 250 to 500 milligrams of extract containing at least 10% icariin. Don't expect a quick fix. Expect something better, a slow, steady return to vitality, to warmth, and to connection. This is how nature restores, not with fireworks, but with a quiet reawakening of blood flow and self-worth. And for men who feel like they've been fading quietly into the background, this herb helps turn life's volume back up. But here's where it gets even more interesting. While horny goatweed helps the blood move again, the next herb takes the process even deeper, stimulating circulation at the microscopic level, reaching the tiniest vessels where physical sensation and pleasure begin. Intrigued? You should be. If you're still here and this message is resonating, type 1 in the comments to let me know. You're still tuned in, still absorbing, still learning, and still choosing to take the next step forward. Let's continue with the next point. Number 3, Ginkgo biloba, the forgotten flow enhancer. Let me be upfront with you. When most older men hear the name ginkgo biloba, they immediately think of memory, perhaps a supplement they tried years ago. But what they don't realize is that ginkgo's greatest strength isn't limited to the brain. Its true power lies in its ability to nourish the blood vessels that supply both your brain and your body, especially the ones involved in intimacy. These vessels are the smallest and most fragile in your entire system. Yes, they're in your brain, but they're also in your pelvic area. These are the very pathways that determine whether blood can reach the tissues responsible for pleasure responsiveness and connection. Unfortunately, they're also the most vulnerable to aging plaque buildup and time. And that's where ginkgo really makes a difference. This time-tested herb used for generations in Eastern medicine acts as a natural blood thinner and vessel relaxer. It enhances what we refer to as microcirculation, the body's ability to deliver blood through its smallest pathways. When those microchannels are restricted or blocked, it doesn't matter how strong the desire is, the body simply can't respond. I've seen this happen in my practice more often than I can count. One patient, a 70-year-old former military man who appeared healthy on paper, came to me feeling frustrated and confused. He wasn't overweight. His test results looked normal. But he said, "I just feel numb, like my body isn't responding anymore." I started him on a therapeutic dose of ginkgo 120 milligrams twice daily. Then we waited. By the 4th week, he noticed more energy. By the 6th week, something deeper happened. "Doc," he said, "it's like I'm alive again. Not just physically, emotionally too." That's the power of circulation. It doesn't just move blood, it revives touch emotion and a sense of self. And when blood starts flowing again, your whole presence begins to shift how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you engage with the people you care about. Ginkgo also improves oxygen delivery to your tissues, reduces inflammation in aging blood vessels, and has even been shown to support erectile function in men with circulation challenges. No blue pill offers that full range of benefits without side effects. Ginkgo does it naturally, gently, and gradually. But here's the key: consistency matters. Ginkgo isn't a quick fix. It's about reopening pathways so your body can respond again, not in a synthetic way, but in a natural, authentic one. Imagine uncovering forgotten roads that haven't seen use in years. With patience and consistent care, those roads can come back to life. If you've lost sensitivity, if your connection with intimacy feels faded or incomplete, ginkgo might be exactly what your body's been calling for. It doesn't fake desire, it makes it possible again. And in my opinion, that's worth more than any temporary prescription. But here's the exciting part: the journey doesn't end here. Because while ginkgo restores flow to the body's most delicate vessels, the next herb I want to introduce goes even further. It reactivates hormone signals, the very ones that remind your body that it's still strong, still needed, and still capable. This next herb even caught me off guard. Number 4. Tribulus terrestris, also known as the male rejuvenator. There's something profoundly personal about a man's sense of vitality. It's not only about strength or performance, it's about identity. And when that fire starts to dim, especially after 60, it can feel like a slow erasure of the man you used to be. I've had countless men come into my office, their voices quiet, their expressions weary, all saying a version of the same thing: "I just don't feel like myself anymore." That's why I often turn to Tribulus terrestris, a modest herb with the remarkable ability to restore what time and stress have quietly taken away. At its foundation, Tribulus acts as a natural hormonal booster. It doesn't overwhelm your system with synthetic testosterone or throw off your body's internal equilibrium. Instead, it sends a signal to the pituitary gland, which then prompts the body to produce more luteinizing hormone. This in turn tells your testicles to naturally increase testosterone production. And when testosterone levels rise, the natural way everything else starts to realign. Circulation improves, muscle definition becomes sharper, mood lifts, and intimacy no longer feels like a distant memory. What truly sets Tribulus apart for aging men is its ability to restore vascular tone. It reinforces the blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to the pelvic region, improving blood flow in a way that revives not just performance but emotional presence. That sluggish feeling, the fading sensation, the absence of warmth and responsiveness. In intimate moments, those are often the result of weakened circulation and a hormonal drop. And Tribulus addresses both. I remember a patient named Richard, a 74-year-old widower, who had recently entered a new relationship. He told me I didn't believe I could feel that spark again. I thought those days were behind me. We began with a moderate daily dose of 500 milligrams of Tribulus, standardized to 45% saponins. After 6 weeks, he returned transformed. Not younger, but more alive. He said, "It feels like I'm fully present again, like I've returned to myself." Tribulus isn't a magic pill. It's not a drug. It's a signal. A gentle push reminding your body that it still knows how to be strong, alert, and emotionally engaged. When taken consistently, it boosts libido, supports erectile strength, increases endurance, and uplifts both mood and motivation. It also benefits cardiovascular health and circulation, making it a well-rounded solution for men who want to feel more grounded, more capable, and more connected. But perhaps most importantly, it reignites hope. Because once your hormone levels begin to stabilize and blood starts flowing effortlessly again, your mind follows. You don't just improve physically, you start to feel emotionally in tune, more present, and more confident in your own skin. For men who have spent years suffering in silence, Tribulus can represent a fresh start. It reminds you that you're not finished. You're not broken. You haven't passed your peak. You just needed the right kind of support, and now you've found it. Now that you've seen how each of these 4 herbs works in a unique yet powerful way, one opens the vessels, another powers the engine, one clears the path, and one restores the signal. It's time to put them together. Because real change happens when these tools work in harmony. Here's the takeaway: you're not finished. You're just beginning again. If you've made it this far, then you already understand something too many men have forgotten: intimacy, vitality, and connection don't have a shelf life. They only fade when we stop nurturing them. They don't disappear at 60 or officially retire at 70. They begin to fade slowly only when we stop giving our bodies what they genuinely need to flourish. Today, we've explored 4 extraordinary herbs: ginseng horny, goatweed, ginkgo biloba, and Tribulus terrestris. Each one offers a distinct and powerful benefit to male health, not just in physical strength, but also in emotional connection and intimacy. These herbs don't simply mask symptoms like a temporary fix. They work with your body to nourish its systems, restore healthy blood flow, reignite sensation, and support the hormones that fuel your energy and drive. If there's one message I hope you carry with you, it's this: your body hasn't failed you. It's been quietly asking for help. It's been signaling for years that circulation is slowing, hormones are shifting, and certain vital connections aren't reaching their destination. These natural remedies provide real answers, not gimmicks or hype, but reliable, time-proven tools that communicate in harmony with your biology. I've worked with men in their 60s who thought their best days were behind them, men in their 70s who silently gave up on intimacy, and men in their 80s who were simply waiting for time to pass. But when they chose to address the root problem, improving blood flow, restoring hormonal balance, and reconnecting emotionally, something powerful happened. They came alive again. not in some loud or flashy way, but in a steady, grounded confidence. They began walking taller, smiling more often, holding their partner's hand again, present, proud, and alive in their own skin. I'm not saying this as someone offering false promises. I'm saying it as a doctor who has witnessed these changes in hundreds of men just like you. Yes, aging is real. Yes, slowing down happens. But fading away, feeling unseen, or losing your inner spark, none of that is your fate. Nature has provided us with remarkable allies. Science has confirmed their value. And your body can still respond if you will give it the chance. Maybe it starts with a single change. One conversation with your partner. One bottle of herbs. One small decision to believe that this part of your life can still be full, not silent, not dull, but deeply connected, energized, and meaningful. You are not finished. You are not broken. You're being called to remember the strength, sensitivity, and spirit that still lives inside you. So if this message touched something in you, don't let it fade. Take the next step. Stay curious. Talk to your doctor. And most of all, tune into your body because it's still speaking. And it still wants to thrive. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Click the like button to let other men know they're not alone. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another transformative health tip designed just for men like you. And in the comments, type "I'm not done" if you're ready to reclaim your strength, your connection, and your confidence one step at a time.